Продовжуємо роботу в Українському кризовому медіа-центрі і зараз говоритимемо на тему «До кінця 2017-го усі активи банків в управлінні фонду гарантування виставлять на ProZorro.Продаж».
So we start our working day. Our speakers are Kostyantyn Vorushylin, Managing Director of the Deposit Guarantee Fund, Maksym Nefyodov, First Deputy Minister of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine. He will join us later. Yaroslav, Yurchyshyn, Executive Director of Transparency International Ukraine. Oleksiy Sobolev, ProZorro.Sale Project Manager. Also Vorushylin, Acting Director of the Department of Sales, and Mikhailov, Head of Organization and Monitoring at the Department of Selling of Assets, and they will answer the questions of journalists. The topic is all assets of banks managed by Deposit Guarantee Insurance Fund to be sold at ProZorro.Sale. So let's go back a little bit, and the volumes of assets that are under the management of fund, they are really big, and the fund was not ready for these events. That's why the fund started to reorganize the structure and the structure of selling. What we faced is that on the market there were electronic auctions, but they were not working, and some tried to do it, and then they redid it what they did. So we started to promote this e-selling, and soon we faced the situation that these platforms, they are electronic platforms, but there is not enough access, both in terms of information and trading, and not an equal access to all the stakeholders. So we tried to cooperate with different platforms, and we understood that there is some interests of some parties that prevail, and we tried to provide access to all those who want to participate, to provide them access to these assets that are under our management. Unfortunately, the majority of the assets are connected with some problems. 80% these are credits, these are claims, and some real estate property, and also some stocks. We have 15 billion of stocks that are fake, because this was just for siphoning away of money, and billions were also issued for these fake stocks. So these are and when we started to work, the first proposal, and one of the main tasks was to work on the proposals to provide equal access to these trading procedures, and also we saw that ProZorro platform was actively developing, and we started to work in this direction. So buying and selling are different procedures, but we wanted to try, and on the 24th of June last year we signed a memorandum and started to move in this direction. In October last year we had the first auctions. So we started to understand how this system works. And in December last year, the directorate made decision that starting 1st February, all selling will be done through ProZorro platform. So this is a good option. Maybe it is not always ideal. Sometimes there are some difficulties and problems, and I will tell you about it. But if we compare it with the previous situation, this is really good option. So these assets can be bought not only by factoring companies, but it can be bought by any legal and physical person. They can enter ProZorro and buy these assets. For us, it is important that this is a platform and we provide these assets there, and any participant of the market have access through 28 platforms. They have access to all these assets, and this is really important for us. One of the problems we face is that those platforms that started their work in ProZorro, they didn't change their mentality. Sometimes they come and they say, give us a customer, but we want them to search these customers. They should be active in this, and they should promote a product. And they should be marketing managers of the market, and they will be the drivers of this area. And here we face some problems, but we believe that this will change, and they will hire people who will be able to work and who will know how to properly work with these assets. And 3% they should earn them, not just get this money. And step by step, we believe that this system will change. And second, this is not issue of ProZorro. This is just about a situation in the market. So, well, there were some accusations. They said that there are a lot of assets and they cost a lot, but they sell it at a low price. And we said, okay, not to quarrel, let's market will identify this. So, for example, 100 million, we start with this and then minus 10% each time. So due to ProZorro.Sale, we achieved the result that any participant of the market can buy, and the price will be identified by the market, and the customers will identify what they will pay for the item. So here, there was a delay in real sales. You understand that those who can buy 100%, they will close this credit, and those who want to close this credit at a lower price, they will wait. So those who want to buy 80%, this is the ticket for Warsaw, they want to buy at a lower price, and here is a game of participants, and in August we will reach real prices, and we believe that in August and September we will have these sales. And now we applied for 1 billion, and then we believe that it is not too much, and I believe that this is a good result. We believe that we have sales that are more than 100 million, and we have small ones. So we continue to develop, and for us it is important to get a feedback from the market about the weaknesses we should pay attention to, where there is a game of the market that I would like to say that in short period of time, the guys did a lot in ProZorro.Sale, and there is a recognition at international level of this platform, and of course, businessmen will try to search for weak places, and we should see it as realities of our life, and we should counteract in case of need. And in September, we plan to reach Holland auction in ProZorro. Now we have 100%, and we get lower 10%. So the time lag is too big, and in this way we will say for a long time. That's why we want to use this Holland auction, and this should go down 30%, and it can be done in one day. The game is more complex here, and we work on this issue, and we hope for good results on this, and we will accelerate selling and by this. So today, only 40% of assets are on the ProZorro.Sale platform until the end of the year. We hope that we will be able to place 100% there in order that people see and market understand how to work with these assets. One more task of ProZorro.Sale. We have situations, 22nd, 23 selling procedures, but some assets are not sold. We can make big lots and then try to sell these things in big lots. And also we work with the other platforms concerning assets of the National Bank. We have some problems concerning selling of assets of the National Bank. They do not take decisions fast, and they have the best assets that are under management of the fund of those banks that are not able to pay, because National Bank took the best ones, and without the decision of the National Bank we cannot sell these assets. But now we reach the level when this decision will be made in the shortest time possible, and we will be able to sell these assets. And in this way the state will get more money, and the volume of sales will be till the end of the year, maybe 10 or more billion. So the main task is to create transparency and openness, accessibility to all the participants in order to sell these assets quickly, because the situation within the fund, 9 billion was taken from the National Bank and 60 billion from Ministry of Finance, and the cost of borrowing is from 10 to 12.5%. This is too costly. And also we try to counteract other situations. The funds like this in the world, they have billions on their accounts, and this provides financial stability in society. And we have tens of billions of debts, and through ProZorro.Sale we want to decrease the borrowing, and we want to form the funds in our fund to guarantee not 200,000 hryvnias. If we want to go to Europe, and in Europe these are 100,000 euros, so we should reach this goal, but we can do it only if we do the first important step, and then we will increase the volume of money that we guarantee to population in case of financial risks. And I'm grateful and thankful to all ProZorro team and transparency team that they carried out this big work together with our employees of the consolidated fund, and now this is the Department of Sales, and we made a step ahead, and the president asked whether it is a good thing, and I said this is the best thing we have now. So I'm sincerely sure, and I believe that we will go further in this process. Thank you.
Надаємо слово Ярославу Yurchyshyn.
We are giving the floor to Yaroslav Yurchyshyn. Thank you very much indeed for me. ProZorro.Sale and partnership with the Deposit Guarantee Fund is very important. It is a landmark for me because on 2016 I was selected as CEO of Transparency International of Ukraine, and I had a meeting with Maksym, Nefyodov those days, and the preparation to this meeting was I was told I am preparing some provocation, let's have a talk about this. When I heard about selling of the assets, selling via the ProZorro system, ProZorro.Sale system of the assets of background banks, we had doubts 1 year ago to tell selling of the assets of the Deposit Guarantee Fund at independent platforms without administrative management interference. It was fantastic. It sounded fantastic. I like to say that Maksym, Nefyodov and Valeria Gontareva, they contributed most of their best efforts into success of this project. We have a golden triangle of partnership, electronic platforms and businesses which are maximum interested in open, independent trading without any voluntary administration, any manual administration, only via regulated procedures. Reformers are in power, are top managers of the Deposit Guarantee Fund who are capable to complete and to fulfill the works which are needed to sell the assets transparently, and they faced this challenge and they met it, and the sins which we thought are not achievable. 1 billion of assets sold. This amount sounds not significant today, but in July 2016 it sounded like fantastic. Why we think the startup is believed success? Oleksiy just returned from getting the prize, the award of ProZorro.Sale, the most successful at international arena anti-corruption startup. ProZorro mechanism is addressed by more and more partners. The assets will continue to be selling at ProZorro.Sale thanks to our active efforts of our office. We are not only at national level, Ukrposhta, this is nationwide level. all their assets which did not bring them profits, so any unprofitable assets on balance they should be sold, but not just written off by nationwide state-owned companies like Укрзалізниця, Укргазвидобування, Ukrainian gas operator. They have very many items in their expenditure list, so also utilities start to use ProZorro mechanism. One of the first municipalities who addressed us, it was Mariupol, near frontline zone city, which now earns on selling the assets which were just on the balance sheet and which maintenance was problematic for them. So we have a kind of positive virus which is infecting entities. If the challenge is the highest, then you are prone to be successful. In fact, technical questions, we had some of them, but they were mended very fast. Digitalization of the processes has such benefit that technical problems which are not connected to corruption schemes, you can't corrupt a software tool. It is quite complicated thing. You can try to corrupt programmers, but they are very high salaried personnel. So every time when I'm asked why do you believe in ProZorro, everything could be hacked. When it is based on multiple platforms, just try to hack it, but it is out of logic. The final guaranteed indicator that we are successful now, although everything can change in our country, which live in ever-changing environment. At the legislative level, it is possible to hack the system. When Vladimir Groisman meets international partners and say, you can believe in us, you can invest in Ukraine because soon we will be selling via ProZorro system in the scope of privatization system, and the international multinational companies, they nod their heads because they know what ProZorro means. So the experiment is successful and it will continue to develop, and I will give the floor to Oleksiy, the manager of the office, as Guy and his colleagues are doing things which are of the level of Mission Impossible. We are praised so much today. I'd like to tell you how we started. We started with the problems such as low competition level, no confidence in the process, very many websites where assets were put up or listed, and as a result there were many other problems, and also corruption was in place, and people didn't believe that they just can buy assets which they are interested in. And within 3 months we started up the system. We started from scratch. We sold for 1,200,000,000 hryvnias of profit, and we want to accelerate the sales thanks to current auctions. And then one day auctions will be possible, but not months time auctions. About 1/3 of our auctions are very competitive. When more than 2 buyers come, then prices grow by over 20%. On average, 5 buyers come. We have sold the assets, 1/3 of assets in such highly competitive auctions. The price from auction to auction decreases, and it can fall even lower than market price, and when it is lower than market price, then the competition starts. For example, the case for electricity generation plant, the price increases 2.5-fold. There were 20 participants in that 20 bidders in that auction. We had the auction, you see it on the screen, when the valuator assessed the market maybe in some other way, only in 500,000 hryvnias the property was listed, so we sold it manifold higher, and there were 22 participants in the auction. Here you see how we sold parking lot in the center of Kiev, and now we have listed the trade center. Its loans for 2.5 billion hryvnias. We sell not only assets but also debts, claims, and our system really has confidence in the society. You should not give any bribes, just bid or list your property as a lot on the auction. We have about 30 million hryvnias cost lots. You choose out of more than billion lots the one which you want to buy. The number of participants grow. 20 participants was maximum last month. This month they are 23 participants, the indicator of maximum number of participants in our auctions. We have 30 platforms. Soon we will expand the number of platforms, and we work on improving our efficiency so that sales are better and easier. I'd like to comment to finalize. You cannot believe in what we are saying. Just take the module of analytical data at ProZorro and see how it works. In principle, we would like to tell you that we understand that our authorities are disbelieved, and this is understandable why it is so. But you can check how transparent our auctions are, why prices are as you can see. Our system gives answers to all questions. If you just try to find some reason, you can find it anywhere.
So Maksym, Nefyodov won't be able to come today. So if you have questions, first introduce yourself and ask a question. Inform Union Agency. First question about assets you plan to place what is the general sum? And can you comment on General Prosecutor's Office declaration that there was some bribe taken by the official? So this is 5 million. First, the balance value of assets is big. It overcame 470 billion, and we will try to put all these assets on sale. And 15 billion are the stocks that are problematic. Maybe they do not cost anything at all, or some things that may cost really low. So we do not know what will be the sum. The market will show what the price will be. So if something is not sold, we will put it in a package with other things and we'll make a big lot. And they will build different procedures in place. We believe that we have great team, progressive thinking. So we will do everything we can concerning detention of the official. He committed a crime. He or she wanted to steal documents and sell them. So this person should have preserved this document, but she, together with her proxies, and we monitored this case. She was able to bring out several bags of documents, and she sold these documents. And we do not know about the price. Maybe $5 million is too much. I do not know exactly. We do not have operative information. We only know that before this, Group K initiative, they asked, what do you think about the idea that we work with liquidators? And I said, it's okay. And if there are cases of embezzlement, so everyone should understand the level of responsibility. So I didn't know that we could have had troubles there. But what was the catalyst? So, do you remember the Soviet film? So, people should understand that they do serious work, and people should monitor assets properly, and they should be responsible for their activity. And I do not know what she expected. There was no inventory procedure made. So they tried to take away documents. And I'm grateful to special services that they stopped this process, that they preserved the documents, and we are going to work with them further. And the price of the document, I do not know about the price. You've mentioned really a big sum of money, and I doubt it. And I do not know exactly what the sum was. So it is rare when the head of the state body thanks law enforcers that they really help to clear the system. This is the example, good example, because the approach changes. So if the system tolerates corruption, there won't be good results. So we thank those who cooperate with us, and we thank Prosecutor's General Office, and we thank for those law enforcers who help to solve this problem and to see that there won't be corruption in this area. Do you have other questions? Thank you, Sergei Shevchuk, Dela. There was an information that Privat Bank wants to sell some assets about Bukovel and Dnipro Stadium through SETEM platform, and the director of SETEM said that there will be an agreement signed. And the question is, so there shouldn't be monopoly for the selling of assets, but now we face the situation with this. And are you going to start initiatives in order to bring those sales and do the sales through ProZorro.Sale system? And due to Deposit Guarantee Fund, we are connected to all the platforms that are in the state, and those who are not connected to us, they are connected to ProZorro platform it can be done in several weeks. And the only enterprise that didn't do it is SETEM, and we cooperate now with Privat Bank and the supervisory board in order to explain to them that they shouldn't choose one platform in order to conduct an auction. You can just propose them to connect to central base and to sell through 40 platforms, and it increases competitiveness and the number of participants. Do you have other questions? I will add today the system is in operation, and now we should convince the participants of the market that it is really efficient. So we have banks that operate, but they want to get rid of toxic assets, and they asked for advice. And I say to these people that they can sell through ProZorro. And if you want to get a commission from the selling, so you can do it elsewhere. But if you want to get the best price, you can do it through this platform. And I believe that all state banks should use this platform. So private banks, they have opportunity to choose and make their decisions. And the state banks, I believe that they should come here. And we recommend and ask them to connect to ProZorro. Why? Today, we have two gaps through which the assets are siphoned away. The first, through executive service, they start to sell, and some assessments do not correspond to our assessments. So there are more questions than answers to them. And next is bankruptcy of enterprises. They set their own liquidators, and they try to squeeze us out of the process. So there are cases when the enterprises are taken out of the list, and the state tax service say they can't be brought out of this list. And this is a gap in this liquidation. And we prepared a draft law, and I provided it to the president, and it is now at the presidential administration. And Mr. Umansky said that he will control and monitor these procedures, and we try at legislative level to resolve these issues, but we have two gaps. These are self-liquidation and this is the decrease of value through the public enforcement service. And together with the Ministry of Justice, we try to resolve these issues, and we are in the process of resolving these issues. Next question, please. Good afternoon. Electronic Platform Association. Some of the members of our association get applications from their clients to buy assets of liquidated banks, and they were provided, but these assets were not put on sale. When these assets will be put on sale? And next, about refinancing by NBU. Do you have some terms? Do you know this information? So if you know that we submitted it, and so please address us directly. We have clear agreement. Any application for any asset. So first we put this asset for sale. We are interested in buying at the best price and to get this money quickly. So there are priorities. So some bureaucratic troubles are present, but please call, write, address. I'm ready to help, because for me this is really important. So if someone wants to buy for 500,000 a big house and it costs 2 million or 20 million, so we will put it on sale for 20 million and then we will sell at the best price. So we are really interested about the assets that are for as a collateral for refinancing. So NBU may take these decisions to resolve this issue, and we hope that in summer the issue will be resolved. We made our proposals, and we should have less bureaucracy because they try to deal with each asset separately, and we said that they should make a decision and then we will do technical work. But without the decision of the board, and they signed the memorandum, so we agreed on the place and the price depend on them now. So we believe that this issue will be resolved, and they promised us that it will be done.
Oleksiy Sobolev, financial portal of the Ministry of Finance, Minfin. Why the success of trading were decreasing from May to June? The secret is in this chart, which you see on the screen. During the pilot project course, the procedures have been changed. The first valuators assessed the lots, then the system demonstrated when the price is lower than market price, then just objects, facilities, properties, they are sold just at nominal price. For example, previously 80% of price were offered. Now 100% of price of some facilities are first listed initially. So efficiency of the pilot work as of the pilot project performance is hardly to be evaluated. When the competition is higher, this demonstrates the success of the project. I have a comment. I'm thankful to the fund for your praises to our address, and I can say the thank to Mr. Vorushylin for the team who is working with us, because the fund has some fears, while the team of ProZorro is fearless people. So I am very real. I have rarely seen the bodies, institutions in Ukraine which really have changed and cleared from corruption. Леся Суховська, Нове время. Is someone from the other side was detained, maybe some shareholders, when Yulia Khamenka was detained? Besides Yulia, of course, there were other persons who were accomplices, but we do not know these technical details. The liquidator coming to the bank forms a team completely, including security service and accountants. Do you have such powers? Today, so far, we have changed the situation. Yes, the liquidator brings his team, but the candidatures are to be initialed by us. We should have a vertical of responsibility, top-bottom vertical, starting with chief accountant. In this bank, the previous accountant was quite highly qualified. I can't say about security system of the bank. We accented our attention, we focused on the largest bank with largest assets. In retail, we have about million of loan claims. We have 6 persons of staff. No, you have thousands of people in those banks which are under liquidation. Contact to them. So we form this top to bottom vertical. When you started to trace which liquidators do not have security service, largest banks, in these largest banks we have already formed this responsibility vertical. The work was very hard because we faced opposition, there was resistance, so we started this work from the end of last year. So far, at the largest bank we have such verticals already. And how the liquidator is selected? Today we do not select liquidators. We have a large pool of them and we work within the scope of this pool, even shortlisting the liquidators, because we want one liquidator to manage several banks, to curtail banks as fast as possible. the main task of liquidators is to liquidate the bank, but the bank can't be liquidated until all the assets have been sold. That is why we should focus our attention on sales of assets, what we are doing now. Personal responsibility for keeping documents safe is responsibility of liquidators. They are collegial bodies, a small loan committee. This is the responsible body. When I started working, we didn't have the database of liquidators. They were just taken based on professional quality, experience, and now they in our pool with there are no ready-made liquidators. There are liquidators who are operating in companies, working with them. I feel doubts in professionalism and transparency of the activities. This is my experience when we conduct some sale. We always go to courts and we appeal against decisions. We have about 80,000 court claims being pending in courts. When we enter any bank which is under liquidation and under our management, the security services, the lawyer services of those banks have their tasks to bring the teams which are transparent, and this is quite difficult task. And you know how many lawyers we should have. 700 lawyers we hire for this 80,000 cases being tried in Ukrainian courts. If something happened, as you mentioned today, well, everyone is guilty, but I thought Yulia Tikhonko was not the worst officer. She reported quite regularly. Why she has stolen the documents, I don't know, I don't understand. How many liquidators are in your fund? We have 93 banks under liquidation and over 50 liquidators. What could be the performance level of liquidator when such a liquidator manages several banks under bankruptcy? If there is the task to preserve assets, why one liquidator addresses 4 banks? How can he cope with this problem? Elementary. There are 2 questions. We try to preserve the assets and to decrease expenditures. For example, via shortening, via reducing the number of staff, when there is many staff. When the staff is large on the payroll and the bank is small, you can find some cases. It is interesting for me. It is efficient to tell in terms of Bank had not so many assets, Akta discharged 50% of liabilities to the fund's creditors. We have paid out over 500 millions to depositors, and they repaid us 50%. This test by power of big money sometimes is failed by individuals. Miss Yulia, even if she has solved one loan case, it would have already been a crime, and she has stolen many such loan cases, dockets. At the beginning, we have about 60,000 staff in banks. In another bank, 4,500 staff were working. The payroll was 2 million hryvnias. We didn't know what to do, how to pay salaries to the Nadra Bank staff. And if salaries are not paid, then the Prosecutor's General Office would sue you next month for not paying salaries. And now we do not have time for questions any longer, so the press briefing time is over. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to our esteemed guests. We are sorry that not everyone had time to ask questions.